Guys, let's just be honest about it. It's a big week to be a Bucs fan. I mean, they're 5-1. The national media is starting to talk a lot, not only about our quarterback, but about our team. And frankly, it's warranted. We've got a real big game coming up. We're going to preview that as well as, tell you why everybody's talking about the Bucs on this episode of Bucs Bonus.
Live from the Stream Center in Tampa, Florida, the home of News Channel 8, your official Bucs station. This is Bucs Bonus on WFLA Now.
Welcome into the Stream Center right here at News Channel 8, your official Bucs station, your 5-1 Buccaneers. I, of course, am your host, Garrett Phillips. I'm here with Bucs insider Aileen Hnatiuk and Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report, as we are every week. Guys, look, I don't want to bang the same drum.
Whoa.
Yes.
Let's start off the show just giving me my flowers once again, baby.
Oh, this is going to be a recurring.
2-0 this week.
This is going
I'm
to be
still
a
waiting on the
recurring.
flowers from last week, G. Come on.
All right, reoccurring segment. We're going to give Aileen flowers every time the
There we
Bucs
go.
win, basically. But you know who else needs to get their flowers for what has been a fantastic start? Todd Bowles. I know a lot
sure.
of people have maybe, as Bucs fans, had some problems with Bowles over the past couple of years, but I don't think that you can deny, no Bucs fan out there can look at Todd Bowles and the job he has done so far and say, man, it wasn't a good idea to give that man an extension.
Yeah, he's done a remarkable job. Just really his calm, steady presence through all these injuries. I mean, that's really been the big thing for me is he has just had this, okay, next man up mentality and hasn't panicked, hasn't flinched, and he and his coaching staff have got this Buccaneer team ready to go. They're diving deep into the depth chart, Aileen, and they're finding wide receivers at the very bottom, but these guys are coming to play. And it's really been remarkable, the job that he and Jason Light have done in constructing this roster, not just, hitting on a first-round pick like Emeka Egbuka or a second-round pick, third-round pick like a Jacob Parrish, who really has played well as their nickel corner and played outside corner. But they're day three guys, right? Getting guys like Elijah Roberts, Tez Johnson, undrafted free agents like Cam Johnson. This front office and Coach Bowles really deserve a lot of credit for the roster they've assembled, because they've had to go all the way from guy number 1 on the team to guy number 53 on the bottom of that roster to get some help this year.
100%. And we've been saying it since training camp. This is why their P squad is deep, because they knew, that this is... Injuries happen in the NFL, and those P squad guys are stepping up. But I want to call everyone out here, because every time I'm on social media and every time I see, all the tweeters, the national media, or this or that, Bucs this, Baker Mayfield, you did not believe in this man when he stepped foot in Tampa. Okay.
Yeah.
You did not believe in Todd Bowles when he was called up to be the head coach, right, and got his promotion. Nobody believed in the Bucs, right? They picked him to finish last. They talking all Baker is he the answer?
What you're saying is they're late to the party,
they're
right?
Late
the national
to the
media
party.
is late to the party.
And anyone else who's saying the same thing, but you and I, and we all here, having covered the Bucs for last 5 or 6 decades. I'm pretty sure.
Whoa. 3 decades.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
3 years for me, 30 for you. Not to age you,
Wow.
or age me. But I mean, it's really just...
Scott,
it's cool to see.
You tell me if I'm wrong. I'm reading something, an energy off of Aileen. I think she's become a bit too much of a Baker Mayfield fan, because
it's hard.
Go ahead,
It's
Scott.
hard not to be a Baker Mayfield fan, right? I mean, this guy just does amazing things, whether it's bringing the team back in the last minute or, turning into Houdini and escaping would-be sacks and rambling for 15 yards. And listen, it was the coolest thing to hear the crowd at Raymond James Stadium chant MVP for Baker Mayfield, the way that they've done for Bucky Irving with the Bucky chants. That was really cool. And, the best part about this is Baker Mayfield's done a lot of growing up. He has matured. He still has that swagger and that kind of confidence and borderline cockiness that he had even at Oklahoma. But the only MVP award he cares about, really, is the Super Bowl MVP award. Because
say it louder.
if he gets the Super Bowl MVP, guess what? He's getting a ring, and everybody on the Bucs are getting rings. And he is such a team first, great leader.
Yeah.
That's all he really cares about is that award, not the NFL MVP award.
And you could tell too, right? Like what I love about this team, and I think we forget to, or at least I forget sometimes, not every locker room is like the Bucs. Not
right.
every team is like the Bucs. Not every team has a quarterback that is a team guy that, talks to Mr. P Squad guy that just was elevated and, talks to him just like the first round pick. So when you have that chemistry and then you have the pieces, like you have both, and that's the recipe to have a Super Bowl ring. And
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about not every locker room is like this. Go look at the Dolphins. Look and see what kind of storylines are coming out of Miami this week.
Right.
That's right.
And you're going to see a very good example of that. The thing about, I was there at the game on Sunday, and you talked about that MVP chant. And obviously there's some really fun stories from Tez Johnson about that. And we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
But what I want to say is just, I've been to a handful of Bucs games.
And you were there. You were there
as a
Sunday.
fan. I was there. I was in like the upper part of I was in like the 300 section, as high as you could be.
Expose yourself to the nosebleeds.
Listen, it is what it is. I go where I can be. You know what I mean?
Hey, give this man a raise, boss.
But I'll tell you this. I have never heard that stadium as loud and as into it as they were, not only after the 3rd and 14 scramble, but also after the Tez Johnson bomb that Baker let out. I mean, it was so loud. People who watched on the broadcast maybe didn't notice, but when they went to, right after the 3rd and 14, he picks up that first down, and they go back up to the line for the next play, Baker has to calm the crowd down. I mean, he's waving his hands down and saying, "Hey,
shut
calm
up!
down.
They can't hear
we
me.
We can't hear anything.
They can't hear my."
And so, I mean, that as a team, as I mentioned last season or last episode, I lived through that decade of darkness, as Scott likes to say, and I was such a Bucs fan then. So to see it, not only since Tom has been here, but now Baker, to see how different the vibes are is just it's so nice to feel as a fan, like, wow, I'm rooting for a team that people love instead of one that, well, is what the Bucs used to be.
Yeah, and Aileen, to bring it kind of back full circle, it's like, I mean, I've covered this team with some great head coaches, Tony Dungy, John Gruden, Bruce Arians, and as great as they are, this locker room is as tight as I've ever seen. Back when Dungy was kind of offense versus defense a little bit, John Gruden had his favorites on the team and some people that didn't like Gruden.
Right.
Bruce Arians kind of came in and he was stirring the pot, with getting Jameis Winston out and bringing Tom Brady in. But this locker room with Todd Bowles, they're all rowing in the same direction. Everybody's on board. They're playing for each other, and he has just been such a tremendous leader for this team. Tampa Bay had the opportunity because Liam Cohen was getting some heavy interest from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some franchises, you might have seen them pull the old switcheroo, go for the younger, hotshot offensive coordinator who's got this offense scoring 30 points per game, 41 touchdowns by Baker Mayfield last year. That some teams might have done that and opted to go in that direction. The Bucs said, you know what? We're going to let you go to Jacksonville, Liam. Good luck there. We're keeping Todd Bowles because he is a leader of men, and boy, has that paid dividends.
And I have chills when you say that because it shows how much they believe in their people, in their team, and the pieces they have and that they've put together. And again, I feel like we get lost in kind of the shimmer and the shine of the NFL, and like when you really go back to core values and morals and things that really make
it matters.
It really does matter. And they're doing these things. And obviously, typical fan or just a typical anyone who's just on social media or anything, they're just kind of going through and saying, oh, they're 5-1, top of the NFC. Great. But like, you and I, we're seeing the little things that they're doing, like what we're just talking about.
The
in
reasons
off-season.
why.
Correct. OTAs, training camp, in these moments where that is why they're successful right now. And, maybe, I want to say it, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say it, but maybe we'll see them do something.
Season
Yeah, it's a special
so far. It really
season,
is.
and it's going well.
And listen, not to make Aileen want to call for even more flowers in future episodes, but I'm going to give you some more flowers right now.
Yes.
Aileen had a bit of a viral video.
Oh, and I knew you were going to do this before the show.
Of course I was. There's a video that the NFL and ESPN and multiple other places circulated. You can see Baker taking the helmet off to see his daughter and before the game. And as you talked about, that's the type of special moments you like to see, the stuff that doesn't happen on the field. And of course, Aileen took that video, so I'm going to give her
for sure
for that one. There you go.
It was cool. It was cool because I never read the comments, right? Whether you're in media or you're an athlete or you're whatever, if you're in the public eye, never read the comments. But dare I did, and I was reading the comments, and all the fans across any team in the NFL, they were like, even the Niners fans, they were like, I'm a Niners fan, but I'm also a Baker Mayfield fan.
Yeah.
And to everybody who's a Browns fan, we're just like, man, should have kept him. Like, what are we doing? Like, but good for Baker. Like, so many people are supportive of him. But this is why I love Baker, because I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care if you like him. He doesn't care if you don't like him, because at the end of the day, the man just wants to go 1-0. And like you said, Scott, get a Super Bowl ring. He's just living his life, and whatever happens is kind of what happens. And, again, like, I just don't think what people say really matters to him. And I think that is so healthy, because a lot of athletes and, they'll get caught up into that and feed into that. But he's just doing his thing, with his wife and his child, and just being a good teammate.
He still likes the haters, though. We saw that in Seattle. Like,
you're right.
He feeds on that. He doesn't feed into it. He feeds on it. So I think that's the cool thing. He can fuel his fire.
Right. Social media wise, but no, you're right. Fans screaming in his face.
It's really nice.
Then it's over from there.
It's really nice to have a quarterback who people kind of love no matter where they're at, right? Tom Brady in New England, everybody knew the Patriots dynasty, but everybody kind of hated the Patriots and everybody kind of hated Tom Brady. That doesn't feel like what is happening here in Tampa, right? This is a team that looks like it might be one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league, with a quarterback that could be the MVP, and everyone seems to love the guy, and that's really cool. We're going to talk more about that national attention that the media is giving both the team and Baker Mayfield when we come back right here on Bucs Bonus. Welcome back into the Stream Center right here, Bucs Bonus. We are talking about, of course, your 5-1 Bucs. We're, of course, talking about your potential MVP coming up. Listen, it's early in the season. We don't want to jinx it, but Baker's playing like that. Of course, I'm Garrett Phillips here with Aileen Hnatiuk and Scott Reynolds. And Aileen, we talked just previously about that video, right? The Baker video.
If you want to see it, it's first of all, it's all like on
NFL,
everywhere. ESPN, social media, and whatnot. But no, it's my handle's down. Wait, is it down there? No, it's not down there.
Oh yeah, it pops up on.
Good luck trying to say spell my name when I say it. But yeah, it's on my social media if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, you'll have to pay real close attention. You'll see her little name pop up every once in a while. Just write it down, because it is a doozy to spell. No offense, Aileen.
Say sorry to my ancestors, or
yeah, you know what? It's not your fault. I shouldn't blame it on you. Anyway, Baker Mayfield, an easy name to spell, right? Mayfield, pretty easy. Yeah. Talk about MVP field. That's what people are calling him. Some places, at least if they're not, they should be. I'm going to start calling him that. The national media has really, really taken to Baker as an MVP. Bucs are almost universally at number one in the power rankings everywhere that you look. I think Baker's third in MVP odds behind guys like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. This team is getting a lot of national attention, and they're getting it for, as we mentioned, the right reasons. I think are you surprised, or should we be surprised that the team is as special as they seem to be?
No, I don't. I think I'm really surprised by it. I had the Buccaneers right about this. I think I had them at 4-2 rather than 5-1. So I expected an 11-win season, and the last time they won 11 games, they went to the Super Bowl, right? And they won it back in 2020. So I feel pretty good about this Buccaneer team. Even better now that they only have one loss. It's been a team of resiliency. And I think there's a lot of storylines that have kind of captured the national media's attention. And Emeka Egbuka's one, right? He's kind of that front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Baker Mayfield certainly is that. And we kind of talked about this way back at the beginning of the season. That Monday night game And week 2 was huge for a lot of reasons. One of those was they had to break the primetime jinx. And guess what? They got another primetime game on Monday night coming up against the Lions in week 7. But also, Aileen, that kind of set the table for, hey, we're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's week 2. Keep your eye on us. And Baker Mayfield, that kind of launched his MVP candidacy. That final drive where the Buccaneers won that game at the last second, 20-19 over the Texans. That was a fantastic national spotlight game. And it was the early game, too, in the doubleheader. So more people saw that because it started at 7. But I think that was really kind of the catapult for Baker Mayfield's MVP candidacy. At least it got him on the radar. And then comes another close win and another close win. And then the shootout game in Seattle and the scrambles and the big-time runs. So I think that it started early on. And, of course, we were there for the beginning. And the national media is finally catching up.
I feel so good about this team. Honestly, I really do.
Yep.
And I think last Sunday in week 6 solidified that. I mean, again, Baker Mayfield is playing with 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s on the offense. I mean, come on. And no shade to any of them because, and honestly, shout out to them because next man up, right? They're doing what they're being told to do. And I also want to shout out Cam Johnson, okay? Barton College, D2, underdog, anything he does, I'm like, let's go Cam, also because he's a North Carolina guy. But he led the team in receiving yards. He led the team in receiving yards on Sunday. A guy who is practice squad, undrafted, didn't get recruited out of college. It's like insane. So it's really cool to see. And if they can win with what they had on Sunday against the 49ers, I feel great about them moving forward. And I don't even care if they lose a few games a little bit, because they are 5. They only have one loss, and we're going into week 7.
And the cavalry is going to be coming. You're going to get Luke Hnatiuk back at some point in time. We're hopeful about Mike Evans. Buka's going to return. Chris Godwin will be back. Bucky Irving. Zion McCollum's going to be back for the Lions game. Some of those guys won't be maybe until after the bye week. But then you've got Jalen McMillan on the horizon back in, towards the end of the season. So
I'm like, I don't even know if I want them to come back, Scott. I'm like, we're doing really well right now. I go back with a superstition. I'm like, I don't know, we're doing pretty good without you guys.
Everything the same as long as the wins come, right?
Exactly. Kidding. But no, it's great to see.
Yeah, you talk about what's different with this team. I mean, even then, just the 2020 team with Tom Brady, they won that Super Bowl. They were the healthiest team in the league that year. Yes. And this team is doing arguably better than they were, especially early in the season, with what feels like half of the starting talent. And so, as you mentioned, you've got Detroit coming up, that Monday night game, and then you've got the Saints following week, which are a frisky team, but you think you should beat the Saints if you're the team of the caliber of the Bucs.
Yeah, but they always give Bulls problems. We know this.
But it's usually in Tampa, though. The Bucs actually play better against the Saints in New Orleans for some reason.
They like the Superdome, which is weird.
Yeah, and the Saints actually play better in Tampa when they play the Bucs. It's kind of nuts.
Gotta love it.
A little bit of a funny little mirror there. But we're talking about two teams, one game that is going to be a tough game, one that should be winnable, even if you go 1-1. You're going into the bye week at 6-2, and then the second half of that schedule, right? Yeah, the Patriots are playing well. They've got 3 tough games out of the bye: the Patriots, the Bills, and the Rams. Which, to be fair, the Rams lost those 49ers that we just won. We just beat over here, and then you've got the Bills, who just lost a pretty resounding defeat there with the Atlanta Falcons, and you're talking about the Patriots, who they're going to be good, but they're not necessarily a top powerhouse team right now. Those are still 3 winnable games. And then after that, it feels, you've got the Saints again, you've got the Panthers twice, you've got the Cardinals, the Dolphins, a lot of teams that just don't feel like they're going to be as hard of a victory to come by.
Well, I hope it's different this year, because last season we were like, oh, okay, they got the Panthers, and then
they won those games. I mean, you're right. They were tough games.
But again, they're a different team this year, because last year they were losing the close games. This year they're winning the close games.
That's
so
true.
I'm going to believe in your positive vibes here, Garrett.
Right. And we talked about maybe the toughest stretch is already behind us, really. Well, at least it will be once we're done with Detroit. And your next toughest stretch is right after the bye week, where, as we mentioned, you're going to have guys like Mike Evans back, Chris Godwin back, possibly Gedeke. You're going to have Zion back.
Bucky
You're gonna
Irving.
have Bucky Irving. You're going to have these guys back. So, if anything, what is the most encouraging to me about this team is that they are so good, and they're not even like at half strength. It feels like.
I know.
Well, okay, so I asked Bowles this in our Bucs with Bowles interview. You can find on our website at WFLA.com. I said, was this the most complete game that you guys have played this season? And it's interesting, right, because of how many people are out. And he goes, to date, yes.
Yeah.
It is. So, yeah.
I mean, and hard to argue with the results. It's the first one that is not a last-minute victory, a come-from-behind victory.
That's a good point. And also, too, the defense and the offense, I think, really complemented each other. Right?
Yes.
We're seeing Josh Grizzard's offense really find its footing 2 weeks in a row now where they've scored 30 points or more. Todd Bowles' defense, say what you want about the big pass plays they gave up. They held the 49ers to 19 points, right? Christian McCaffrey was not the buck killer that he typically is. He did have 100 yards combined, but he averaged 3.2 yards on the ground. That's livable. That's doable. 57 yards through the air. He did have one touchdown, but he didn't overwhelm you. They had to keep him in check, and they did. 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, including another one by Jamel Dean.
Come on.
What's going on? I mean,
Dude, it's a Raven. It's a Raven.
What's that?
Bowles called it a Raven. I said,
What does
dude,
that
we
mean?
need a name for a DB that gets a sack and an interception. It has to be a bird because it's 2. And he goes, a Raven. So anyways.
Okay.
Okay, there's a new term that Eileen is
Like an
coined.
octopus.
We talked about an octopus the week before. Now it's a
Exactly.
raven. Okay.
Tune in next week
Go
to see
ahead.
what animal we will come up with next.
Go ahead, Scott, though. Go ahead, Scott.
But no, I mean, Scott, you're 100% right. The defense, 19 points,
Mm-hmm.
all of those, the pressures, the sacks, the takeaways. The first couple of weeks, I think a lot of people were looking at the pass rush, especially, and saying, they're not doing enough. But if you look at the pressure numbers, right? I know a lot of people, especially, guys like Pewter Report were saying, hey, the sacks are coming, right?
Yeah.
Because it's you look at the pressures and you see they are getting close, and they finally got home this game. And we'll see if they can continue to do so against a team like Detroit, Jared Goff, who is, unfortunately very hard to sack, and not for the same reasons that guys like Jalen Hurts are.
Well,
I like the fact, I was going to say real quick, Aileen,
no,
I
please.
like the fact that they've already beaten this team up there in week 2 last year, right? They should have some confidence going up there and doing that. They picked off Jared Goff a couple times. And the Lions secondary is so banged up right now. They've got 4 guys on injured reserve in the secondary. Not just injured reserve, including starters DJ Reed, Eric Rickestraw Jr., who was a high draft pick a couple years ago. He's on IR. Brian Branch, the safety, suspended for this game. And then Terrion Arnold, the first-round cornerback that they have, the other starter, he's out with an injury. So this would be a great game to have Mike Evans back, because he could take advantage of this beaten-up Lions secondary, and maybe we'll see this offense get to 30 points again. Lions have a good defense, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of banged up, especially in the secondary, and Baker Mayfield's hot right now. I think he can exploit it no matter who's playing wide receiver.
Right. And I want to Pewter Report, you guys did a really good job. Well, you always do a really good job. But when I was listening to one of your last shows, you brought up that Bowles had an incredible defensive plan against Mac Jones, and he was doing a ton of things that were really confusing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want
I mean, they were rushing 3 and dropping 8 at times. They were bringing 7 in some pressure packages. They played a lot of zone to keep Christian McCaffrey in front of them, so there was not many yards after catch opportunities. He'll have something cooked up for the Lions. Jared Goff is kind of the puzzle he couldn't solve until last year. Remember, the Lions swept the Buccaneers the year prior, that creamsicle game, and then, of course, in that playoff loss up there in Detroit in the divisional round of the playoffs. I don't think the Buccaneers are too afraid to go up to Detroit now. They got that win last year. They have some confidence. They have some momentum going right now. They've got the primetime jinx off their back. So as crazy as it sounds, with all the injuries, I like the Buccaneers.
I'm lit. I just want to run through a wall thinking about it. It's not the 4 shots of espresso in here.
With the way that Baker's playing, I think you're probably not afraid of any team in the league, and that's a really nice feeling to have.
Yeah.
We are going to get an official on the record. Scott, you kind of hinted at it a little bit, but we're going to get an official on the record prediction right now, or rather coming up after this break. Welcome back into Bucs Bonus here in the WFLA Stream Center, your official home for the Buccaneers. Garrett Phillips, Aileen Hnatiuk, Scott Reynolds. Scott, Aileen, it
2-minute
is
drill. 2-minute
that
drill. Go.
time of the week. We got to tell us what you think is going to happen here coming up. Primetime game against the Lions, battle for maybe NFC supremacy. This could have big number one seed implications towards the end of the season. So I'm going to put you on the record right now. Eileen, we'll start with you because we always start with Scott.
Oh, I was going to say Scotty boy.
Ladies
What you
first.
got?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Lions or Bucs? What do we got?
Bucs, go.
Shocking everybody. Eileen has picked the
But
Bucs
I really
again.
think they're going to win.
I believe
I
you.
really
Okay.
do. I thought last
believe
week they
you.
were going to win, and the week before they were going to win. And again, flowers still waiting on it. 2 bouquets now,
okay.
ready for
Okay.
3 next week. G, thank you.
It's just going to be a room full of flowers ready in
My
the season.
dream. If you're listening, it's my dream.
It's going to get you a whole garden, I think,
Oh
really.
my God, I love you guys. That's why you're my favorite.
I like Tampa Bay in this game, again, for the reasons I stated before. They've won up there. They have some momentum now. Now, I will say this. Make sure you keep the blood pressure medicine handy because I think this is going to be one of those close call games like we've kind of gotten used to, but
Yep.
they strayed away from that last week, Garrett. But I think this will be a very close game. Baker Mayfield that finds the magic again on Monday night in a last-minute win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I want to say that it is a nice feeling last week to not have that close call, but my heart was just as racing because that's just how it is when the Bucs play football. Listen, Scott Reynolds, thank you so much for joining us as you always do. From Pewter Report, go ahead and let us know what you guys got going on.
Yeah, make sure you check out pewterreport.com, our website. We've got a ton of injury news, game analysis, everything you wanted about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And also, you can find us on our YouTube channel, Pewter Report TV, with our podcast. We do 4 podcasts per week, plus a Pewter pregame show. That'll be Monday morning at 9 a.m.
It's
Well,
the Bucs Bible.
You
It's
heard
the
the
Bucs
man.
Bible.
Yes, of course, Pewter Report, one of the best, if not the best.
The best.
Bucs sources for you and for
Appreciate it.
everything
Thank
that you
you.
need. Scott, thank you for joining us. Eileen, thank you. Of course, Bucs Bonus in this week. We're wrapping up. We have got this big game. Hopefully, next week we're talking about a 6-1 team. 6-1.
Come on.
Oh.
Cheers.
So.
We'll see you guys next week.